did I know that to my surprise they were praying for me.
Yeah.
And I began to think about the things that my mother always told me. You see, some folks are close to their fathers. Some men are close to their fathers. Amen. But I was very close to my mother. Amen. Because I looked like her. My daddy said I act like her. Amen. But I was very close to my mother. And my mother would pull me aside. And she said, the reason I'm hard on you is because I know you can do it. I see what's on the inside.
Yeah, yeah.
You may not see it, but I see it. And there came a time when I thought about what my mother said.
All right.
She said, son, there's going to come a day when you're going to remember these things that I taught you. In that particular day, I put my mind on my mother. And I got to tell you, like at ISC, amen, I was walking, came close to a payphone. That's how I know it was God. And at that particular time, it was a dime to use a payphone. Amen. And I looked down. And I'm going to tell you what I saw on the ground. I saw a dime. And I saw a piece of rock cocaine. Listen to me good. Amen. I picked up the rock cocaine. I put it in his hand. I picked up the dime. And the Lord was telling me, he said, call your mother. And I remember it being close to Christmas, about 3 months off. And I hadn't spoken to my mother in quite some time. Amen. And I put the dime in the phone. And I called my mama's number. And my mama answered the phone.
All right.
And when she answered the phone, I could hear the despair in her voice. Perhaps she was at that moment praying for a wild son.
All right.
One who had gone off and done what God told him not to do.
All right.
Amen. And as I heard my mother's voice, amen, I couldn't even say nothing. But I hung up the phone. I couldn't say anything.
All right.
Because what she had taught me began to rise up on the inside. And she told me, son, when you ever get in trouble and you can't see your way out of it,
all right,
just begin to call on the name Jesus. Now that's how I know that it was God.
Yeah.
Because nothing would have ever happened that way. At that particular time, amen, I called on his name one time. Looked at the rock in the left hand. Called on his name 2 times. Called on it the 3rd time. And the 3rd time as I called on it, the Lord began to speak to me again. And I took the rock and I threw it down and stepped on it. Took the rock right out my pocket and threw it away. Amen. Because I knew what God has called me to do.
All right.
But I tried to run and I tried to hide. But like Jonas, I was consumed. Amen. Not by a fish.
All right.
But I was consumed by rock cocaine. Amen. I was a wanted man by Polk County Sheriff Department. Amen. So I went and turned myself in. And I'm going to tell you how the devil is. When I got down to the police station, amen, the people looked up my information. And they turned me away and said, you're not a wanted man. And I began to walk outside, and I said, you know what? That's a trick of the enemy. Because I know that the only way I can get cleaned up is to get away from this mess. Amen. And I went back in the police station. And I told the lady to look it up again. She looked it up again. She said, sir, you're not a wanted man.